Wednesday, May 14th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here along with you in the Weather on the Ones Forecast Center. Let's start off with a look back at the very warm high temperatures from yesterday all around the region. 90 for the first time this season in Greensboro, 92 the high in Raleigh, 93 in Fayetteville, 91 in Greenville, and 91 degrees down in Columbia. Look at Richmond, 94 yesterday afternoon. Currently it is 60s and 70s in most spots. Then you hit the mountains, some 50s up that way. But it's certainly a very mild mid-May morning out there across the region. All right, this next cold front continues to get closer and closer to us. Developing area of low pressure as well there in western Mississippi will enhance our areas of rain and thunderstorm activity across the region tomorrow. Now, this morning, it's very quiet all across the region. Very little in the way of cloud cover. And temperatures, again, quite mild. No big areas of rain or storms close by. Now, you do have some areas of showers over parts of the Northeast, down into parts of Pennsylvania and Ohio. But of greater interest for us here in the Carolinas is what's happening back into Tennessee and Alabama and Mississippi. You see the rain certainly increasing at times back that way, and that extends further to the south into Louisiana and Texas and Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma. And notice these elements down here in the Gulf of Mexico lifting off in that direction. That is a sign of that moisture really beginning to feed into this developing system. Now today it's going to be another very warm day, but only a few isolated late day storms. The vast majority of real estate here across the Carolinas will be dry today, and it will be quite warm too. Highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s in many locations across the region. So very warm today with dry conditions. But the whole setup changes starting tomorrow. There comes that storm system rolling on in, and it looks like a very wet, unsettled setup for us Thursday into Thursday night across the region with a healthy round of rain and thunderstorms moving through. Let me show you a couple of the model totals in terms of rain. This is the RPM model, and really a couple things to key on. One, it's a widespread soaker across the region, and number two, look at the enhanced rain totals in the mountains and the foothills. I've been mentioning this in the video products this week, that when you're going to get this southeasterly flow banking up into the higher elevations, you're going to get that enhanced rain total scenario there in parts of the foothills and the mountains. The RPM definitely indicating that. The NAM sniffing that out to some extent as well. And so for that reason, we have a flash flood watch in effect for the mountain and the foothill areas for tomorrow and tomorrow night as the storm system moves through. Now behind the system, cooler and really very nice weather for Friday and the weekend. Here's a snapshot of some Friday afternoon highs. And again, we're not talking about temperatures Friday being held down due to rain. We're talking about intervals of sunshine and highs in the 70s. So much more typical May weather on the way for Friday. So here we go in the upper levels. This is the 500 millibar chart from the European today. There's your pretty potent little piece of energy moving into the Ozarks, and that kind of full latitude trough eases further eastward, and we're in a very favorable position tomorrow. Really favoring a lot of upward vertical motion, meaning a very wet and unsettled scenario here for much of the region. As we get on into the weekend, though, that trough settles in and looks cooler and really pretty quiet for the majority of the weekend. And the European wants to hang that trough around for the majority of next week, too. Now, here's what it looks like on the surface charts. That's tomorrow afternoon's precipitation. Very wet setup for us on the GFS model. There you go. Pretty good agreement. Much the same. And that pulls out by Thursday night and Friday morning. Now we go out to the weekend. Friday looks great, and then Saturday looks very, very nice as well. Now here's where we get into a little bit of uncertainty. Sunday, the European keeps us dry. However, you look at Sunday on the GFS, and you have a little shot of some rain moving through. It's just really trying to figure out the difference in the intensity of a couple of disturbances pivoting around the base of that trough. I've left rain out of the weekend forecast, but we'll keep evaluating that little opportunity for a few showers on Sunday. All right, before I wrap up the video, let's go back to tomorrow. There's the NAM depiction tomorrow afternoon, late in the afternoon. You see that pretty intense band of rain and thunderstorms. What we'll see happen is if we do indeed see this little secondary low form, like it looks like we will, You're going to get some enhanced helicity, some enhanced wind shear with these southeasterly winds really cranking. And so even though there is no formal day 2 slight risk, it's a possibility that we could see somewhere here across the region be included in a formal slight type of risk if that secondary low does indeed develop as we get into tomorrow. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. Isolated tornadoes will be the biggest threat where the air mass can be just unstable enough, and we'll watch that carefully. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everybody have a wonderful day, and God bless.